Sure. We actually get to go back to pointers this year.
Oh, you're good on the. There he is. We were worried about you. Yeah, I know.
Here. Yeah, or just 1 second.
Good evening, everyone. This panel up here, we're the Board of Adjustments. The P and Z will be after us. I'll call this meeting of the Waushara County Board of Adjustments to order. This meeting will begin with a public hearing. Anyone other than the applicant or the representative wishing to speak must register and submit the registration slip to the zoning administrator at this time. Following the hearing, we will conduct our monthly business meeting, at which time we will vote on the applications. You may stay and hear how the applications are decided, or you may leave following the hearing. The applicant and town board will be sent a copy of tonight's decisions. Any other persons wishing to receive a copy of a decision can sign the sheet on the table at the front of the room. Those of you wishing immediate knowledge of the outcome of these proceedings may call the county zoning office tomorrow morning. The procedure we will follow for each hearing application is, after each application is read, the applicant, their agent or representative will be asked to present their application, followed by any questions or comments from the board. Then all correspondence will be read, then others in favor will have a chance to speak. Anyone objecting will then have a chance to speak. I will then ask for a summary of the board's field observations and any staff comments. Finally, the applicant will be allowed a chance for a short rebuttal if they wish. Anyone wishing to speak should use the microphone, state their name, and direct their comments to the board. Because of the number of applications, I am asking that all testimony be kept brief to the point. The applicant will have 5 minutes to present information on their application other than questions from the committee. Anyone else wishing to speak should limit their testimony to 3 minutes, and any rebuttal by the applicant should also be limited to 3 minutes. If you are testifying as a nearby landowner, please tell us where your property is located relative to the subject property. Tonight's hearing will be recorded and a recording will become part of the record. Comments that are based on hearsay or secondhand information, as well as slanderous or prejudicial remarks, will be ruled out of order. The committee has looked at all the properties and the record will reflect these observations. Any person affected by an administrative decision of this board has 30 days from the filing of tonight's decision to file an appeal. Such appeals are heard by the Waushara County Circuit Court. Information on appeals is available from the clerk of court's office and qualified legal counsel. The county assumes no liability and makes no warranty as to the legality of any construction commenced prior to the expiration of this 30-day period. I'll introduce the board, John Shirk, John Benson, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald, Amy and Kyle from the zoning office. Our first application tonight, it's an appeal by Julie DeBach, Red Granite, Wisconsin, has filed an appeal in accordance with section 58-106 of the Waushara County Zoning Code to an administrative decision of the Waushara County Zoning Administrator to an approved land use permit for an accessory structure on a parcel in the RS20 zone. Location, a parcel of land known as Lot 2, Certified Survey Map, number 4224, being part of the southwest 1/4, the southeast 1/4, section 20, T19N, R12E, Town of Leon, South Pearl Lake Road. Amy, you want to tell everybody that she has asked for an adjournment? She contacted the office.
Yes, I have an email that we have from Todd Waller, the zoning administrator, that on Monday, June 14th, that the zoning office received a call from Ms. DeBosch asking to table her request for an appeal to next month's public hearing, that she was having an unforeseen health issue preventing her from coming to the meeting.
Thank you, Amy.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to that, I would make a motion to table this per the applicant's request. If there's any publication costs, that would also be on the applicant.
Do we have to go to our business meeting to do that, John? Huh?
If you want to, we can.
Yeah, we have to,
Either way.
because we have to approve the minutes and everything too.
Okay.
Well, that'll conclude this part of the meeting. We'll go right into our business meeting. Roll call show us here. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second,
I do.
approved. Approval of minutes from the private minutes.
I,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Action on the public hearing, appeal tonight.
Now, Mr. Chairman, per the applicant's request, I move to table the issue. Also include in that motion that if there's any republication fees, that the applicant is responsible for those fees.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion. We have a second. Take a roll call vote. John Shirk?
Yes.
John Benz?
Yes.
And the chairman, yes. Motion passed to adjourn it to July. Anything else from the zoning office for this board?
We have one extension request, and
Okay.
that is from, did you mean regarding the application or the whole agenda?
Well, which one is it from?
This is for Scott Egan. We have an extension request to a variance. Or do you want to go down the whole agenda?
No. No.
Okay, we have an extension request from Scott Egan for his variance, and it was on Highway 152 across from the Trading Post. He had the variance for the house.
Yes.
He's asking for a 1-year extension. He has the house tore down, the garage and everything tore down. He's asking for a 1-year extension due to construction costs and and construction has been delayed. So he's asking for a 1-year extension to obtain his permits.
Do we need a motion for that?
We do.
I'll make a motion to extend Mr. Egan's variance for 1 year from today. Is
Yeah.
that suitable?
1 year from today?
Mhm.
Okay. Second? I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Anything else, Sam?
That's all that I have.
Seeing that we have no other items on the agenda.
I would so move to adjourn.
Did you want to approve the minutes from,
Hmm?
you usually approve the minutes
Oh, yeah,
from
no.
Wednesday? You don't approve minutes?
Oh,
No.
I didn't fi- I-
Oh, you did, okay.
Approval of minutes, we did that, I thought. We
Okay.
did the agenda in the minutes, we did that.
Okay.
So we're good.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Aye.
All right.
Okay. See you in July. Have a great 4th, everybody. And thank you, Amy, for all your expertise and leadership over these last many years.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
When,
Gonna miss you.
when
Amy.
is your last day?
July
And nobody's
6th.
gonna do it now. That's why, I'll stop up. That's why some groups get to go first. So take your clue and take, did you take this home too from tonight, the appeal? Okay.
Never mind, early days.
Right? That's why I just shut my mouth.
I had to tell Benson to do it.
I know nothing right now.
So I need you to sign this
If you hurry up
extension.
and get out of there.
Let's have you
Mr.
sign that
Fitzgerald, we can
extension
get started.
Yeah. I got paperwork to sign here, will you?
This to do here.
Good night, guys.
And you kept your appeal stuff, Jen?
Shortest meeting.
You did?
Yeah.
Your stuff.
Okay, let's
Thank you, Amy.
do the same thing.
We'll see you.
Good
I'll
luck.
see you around. Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Feel like reading?
I'll still be around a little. Can you get through without me?
I doubt it.
Making the motion to say go.
Yep, thank you.
Lost
You
weight, I
got
gotta
it.
lose more.
No, you're doing good.
Read this again.
Oh, we have just the applicants are all here.
I better read it, just to make it official. Any person other than the applicant wishing to speak before either committee must fill out a registration slip, which can be found outside either doors. You can return them here at the desk.
You stick that thing. in. Just in case. Thank you.
First application, that's not mine, that's Kevin's. Stuff.
No.
The first conditional use we're going to consider tonight is for Daniel Jude, Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. Has made an application for conditional use in accordance with sections 58-236, paragraph 17, and 58-454, paragraph 27 of the Waushara County zoning code to store a 2,000 Jayco Eagle M dash 165 28-foot travel trailer in the AG General Ag Zone. Location, an approximate 33-acre parcel of land being part of the southeast quarter of the northeast quarter, section 7, town 19 north, range 9 east, town of Deerfield, 7th lane. Is the applicant present? Would you step forward, sir? And tell us a little bit about what you got going on out there.
My name is Daniel Jude. And as you stated, I have a 2000 Jayco Eagle fifth wheel. Basically, I'd like to put a 25-foot by 35-foot pad, crushed stone pad, so I can park it up there and have it essentially out of my parking lot in Fort Atkinson and have it up here so I can use it occasionally and take it and use it within the state.
Committee may have a few questions for you. Do you know where your property lot lines are?
Yes, I do.
Has there been a recent survey completed out there? Or when was the last survey?
I know the property next to me to the east was just purchased by Bacon Farms. And I believe they had a survey done. The last survey that was done on my property, I believe was in 2009.
Okay. Have you talked to the town of Deerfield Town Board about this proposal?
I have not.
Usually be a good idea to talk to them and just see
Right.
what they're, I don't believe there will be any, but we don't know for sure. So, I guess next time if you're gonna do that, maybe ask them. Have you spoken with any of the adjoining landowners?
Yes, I have.
What is their opinions, concerns?
No concerns. I spoke with Jim Bacon he owns, well, he leases part of my property and he now owns the property to the east. And he is completely fine with it. The across the street, I believe, is still the Browns, and they are good with it. So,
Does the board have any further questions?
What's your intention for
Toilet. A toilet.
I knew you were going to ask that. The toilet I'm going to use is it's called a Lavio. It was designed by a veteran out in Connecticut. It's kind of I guess you would call it a dry toilet. The way it is used is it has a cartridge with bags. When the toilet isn't used, each time it takes the excrement, takes the bag, pulls the bag down, it twists, seals it, and it's a 17 use cartridge. When the cartridge is completed, on the last one, there's a little red stripe that tells you that's the last one. And then you put the next cartridge in. The way the cartridges are used is just like diapers would be. They can just be disposed of in any landfill.
Pricey.
They are now up to $700 to $25. They were six. It's a lot cheaper than the incinerator toilets, which run $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. A buddy of mine has one up in Canada on an island, so I know how all that stuff works. And I've actually seen and actually use a Lavio, and they're kind of slick. They're portable, and what we're planning on doing is if and when this gets approved, I'm taking out the toilet that's in there, sealing off the black water tank, and then that's going to go right in place. There's a mounting bracket and all that stuff.
It's called Lavio.
Laveo. And
I
they were
actually
by
Googled it because I was kind of curious how it worked, and they actually run anywhere from like, it looked like $500 up to like $4,000. There's all different kinds of units. I was surprised on the price range of them.
That's something relatively new then, sir?
I believe they've been around. The one thing that I didn't copy and paste on here, since 2008, 2009.
That long?
So yes, they're in use with quite a few things. Was that Castle Fish houses? They're ice fishing houses. They've been using those for a few years. The tiny homes, quite a few of those have them. And they're in quite a few marine applications and a lot of smaller boats, seagoing vessels, those types of things.
What is your source for water? Are you going to bring it in? Do you have?
It'll be hand carried.
No well is planned at this time?
No.
What did you say about the black water tank? That was going to happen to that?
That's just going to be sealed off. That will be not be in use. So I didn't want that to be in any question as to having a use and taking using the black water tank for any intended purposes for black water. That's why we're getting that.
So there's one there now that's
There is one.
and it's buried or it's above ground? Or
No, it's in the camper itself.
Oh, in the camper, a self-contained. Oh,
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
I could remove it. I would
No.
rather not, but
As long as you're not going to have a well there and have a hose hooked to the camper, you're fine.
no. I'm trying to be as environmentally conscious as
Okay.
possible.
Any other questions from the committee? Right. You can have a seat now.
Thank you.
What I failed to do was to introduce the committee. I apologize. To my immediate left is Jerry Lauer, Mike Cap. In the back is Pat King and John. I'm going to kill your name, John, but Elmloredden?
Not even close.
Not
Don't
even
worry about
close. He's the new kid on the block, so it'll take us a while my name is Robert Wadle. Amy is our acting zoning administrator tonight, filling in for Todd. We have Kyle Kucher back there taking notes and fulfilling that duty. Anyone sign up to speak in?
Nope, no one registered to speak or in opposition.
Any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Anyone to speak for information only?
No.
No objections. Staff comments?
The property is a vacant 33-acre tract of land which maintains partially cropped farmland as well as remnants of old managed forest land. The county maintains no other information on the property as it's vacant and undeveloped. Staff visited the property on Wednesday, June 16th to document existing conditions. As depicted in the photos you have received, the site lies on the northern edge of the forested area of the lot abutting extra existing cropped farmland. Outside of the northerly open farmland, the trailer will be adequately screened from view on all sides and will be situated a considerable distance away from any roadways and property lines. All defined zones have uses that are permitted outright, such as building a home in the residential zone or having a barn and farm animals in the ag zone. Then there are uses that may be permitted and provided certain conditions are met that require a conditional use permit. And that is what we are looking at here. That may be permitted provided that certain parameters can be complied with so that the use remains in keeping with the surrounding uses in the area. Some examples of uses that require a conditional use permit could be a dog kennel, unoccupied storage of a travel trailer on vacant land, a gravel pit, or a home-based business in a rural area. In some counties, these permits are called special exception permits. It is the landowner's responsibility to provide the information that shows the committee that this use is still in keeping with the zone and area it is proposed for, and that conditions placed on it will ensure it will be a good neighbor to the surrounding landowners. Based upon the submitted material, the applicant is seeking to utilize the trailer periodically throughout the year to extend time enjoying local recreational activities. The trailer is to be placed in the far northeast corner of the property, approximately 155 feet from the east property line, 337 feet from the north property line. 155 from the east, 337 from the north and from the north line. One item of concern, however, was that the applicant did mention proposing to use gray water for watering saplings, and this would not be allowed per the Waushara County Utility Code, which prohibits the discharge of sewage, partially treated sewage, or effluent, which all meets that same definition. So that would not be permitted. It all has to go into an approved method of treatment. So that would all have to go into that little portable toilet. Staff has reviewed this request and believes the travel trailer is ideally situated upon the property and will be adequately screened from view, given existing vegetation and distance from lot lines. While the committee will be making a formal recommendation on this request later in the evening, staff is recommending approval of the conditional use request to store a 2000 Jayco Eagle M165 28-foot travel trailer in the AG5 zone in the town of Deerfield.
Right, thank you, Amy.
Mhm.
Any rebuttal by the applicant or anything else to add at this time? All right. We'll move on to the next one. Steve Vatrone, Berlin, Wisconsin, Tim Trotter, landowner, has made an application for a conditional use in accordance with sections 58-454 of the Waushara County zoning code to expand an existing auto repair business to include the rental of U-Haul vehicles and trailers in the AG General Ag Zone. Location: an approximate 2.44 acre parcel of land known as Lot 1 of Certified Survey Map number 383, being part of the northeast quarter of the northwest quarter, section 17, town 18 north, range 13 east, town of Aurora. Address N1673 State Road 49. Is the applicant present? Would you please step forward, sir? And tell us a little bit about what you got planned out there.
Hi, I'm Steve Vetrone. As stated in the application, we have been running an auto repair business for the last 3 years at this location, and we would just like to expand into renting U-Hauls. We actually started renting U-Hauls last year. We were not aware that this property had a conditional use permit. We were under the impression it was zoned commercial. So I'm just here tonight to try to continue to keep with the U-Haul rentals.
Are you going to be, committee may have a few questions for you.
Okay.
Number one, do you know where the property boundaries are, lines?
Yes.
Has there been a recent survey done of the property?
Not that I'm aware of.
That would probably be up to Mr. Trotter, I would assume.
Okay.
Have you talked to the Town of Aurora board?
I have
Town
talked to
board?
Mr. Young, and we had talked to him about possibly rezoning this to be commercial, and he didn't really want to do that, but he said that they would be okay with a conditional use permit.
And have you talked to the adjoining landowners or neighbors?
I have not.
It's usually a good idea. Check and see what their
sentiment is, because if it's all against you, they would have appeared tonight. Might have been hard for us to make a,
Okay, understandable.
Committee have any other questions for you at this time? Mike, Jerry, Pat?
How far back, we were there yesterday, and how far back do you intend the U-Haul trucks to be parked, I guess?
Where the trucks are sitting right now, that's the extent we're going to put them. There hasn't been any gravel brought into that parking lot in years, and I wanted to freshen up the parking lot. So we were going to expand about 20 feet in gravel to the south. That would be, and that would be the extent of where the U-Hauls would be. So they're not sitting on the grass; they'd be sitting on the gravel. So that's probably about 30 feet from that tree line, which is where the property line is.
You're not gonna go any further to the west than into that grassy area there that was straight west of you
Where
have
that
the
tall
view?
grass is, no.
Okay. You could, I mean, if that
Yeah,
is part of the property, correct?
it's part of the property, yes. My lease agreement doesn't give me use of that land, though.
And then we had noticed that may come up later in some conditions in that, but you have a bunch of vehicles waiting to be repaired, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir.
Are those all licensed, or is that up to the car owner or vehicle owner?
Those are all current. We have had issues before with unregistered vehicles, and we have tried to keep that cleaned up to the best of our ability. I mean, sometimes things get towed in, and I mean, I'm not aware that they're being towed in. Any unregistered vehicles we've been trying to keep inside the building or have a quick turnaround time where they're only there for 1 or 2 days.
And are any of those that were there, we didn't go and look at them all, but are any of those salvage vehicles for parts or anything?
No, those are all customer vehicles waiting to be repaired.
Even that Camaro,
Uh,
they had a salvage title because it couldn't be renewed. 4 of the cars were in ops. 4 of them didn't have current record plates.
The Camaro, I don't believe, is a salvage title.
All it said on the DOT website is that it couldn't be renewed further. Sometimes it have it with salvage title, but maybe not.
That's my employee's vehicle, and I believe the registration had just expired on that, but
expired, but or would just be curious about that.
I'm not aware of that. I mean, he's going to be repairing that, so I mean, it's not going to be a permanent fixture or anything there. That is his vehicle, yes.
And you have no restroom facilities other than that porta potty that was there, is that correct?
Just the porta potties, all we have.
And then do you have any means to reclaim antifreeze or oils or stuff like that if you're repairing them and they spill, or?
I do have a AC reclaimer that I just purchased last year. And then my oil, I have a facility that takes my oil that they use in a waste oil to burner.
So that's all disposed of properly then?
Yes, sir.
Anybody have any other questions? Okay, correspondence?
We don't have any
You can take a seat, sir.
Thank you.
We don't have any correspondence, but the zoning administrator did have several conversations with CJ Young, who is the town chairman for the town of Aurora. And the same as what Mr. Vitrone had said was that the town chairman had talked about a potential zone change on the property, but felt more comfortable accommodating the request with a conditional use permit where they could put conditions, possible conditions, and they did have no issues with the granting of a conditional use permit on the property. And that would be all the correspondence.
No one in favor to speak?
No one in favor, opposition, or signed up for information.
All right, staff comments.
The applicant, Steve Vitrone, owner and operator of Precision Auto, is requesting a conditional use to expand the existing auto repair business to include rental of U-Haul vehicles and trailers in the AG zone in the town of Aurora. And Tim Trotter is the landowner of the property. This property and the adjacent property to the north, which are both owned by the Trotters, have come before the county numerous times since 1990, once for a public hearing and other times for both land use and sanitary permits. While the property to the north was originally denied a zone change to operate an auto repair business, and that would be the property with the home on it, the county did compromise and approve a conditional use for the business. However, based upon county records, that auto repair business has always occurred from the detached garage up near State Road 49, which is actually the property to the south, which is owned by the Trotters and which is subject of tonight's meeting. According to submitted documents, Mr. Vitrone has been leasing the garage from the Trotters and operating an auto repair business at this location since 2018. The applicant is now seeking an after-the-fact conditional use to operate a U-Haul dealership from this location as an auxiliary addition to the auto repair business. Permanent U-Haul vehicles stored at the property will include a 10-foot box truck and an 8-foot open ramp trailer. The remainder of the vehicles would be various vehicles that are dropped off at this location and then available for rental. It should be pointed out that this property has been subject to numerous complaints for storage of inops and miscellaneous auto parts associated with the auto repair operation. Should this request tonight receive a favorable recommendation, specific conditions will need to be in place for the site to be cleaned up. The committee visited the property at their recent on-site on Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. While the committee was generally very supportive of the proposal to amend the existing operation to include a U-Haul dealership and felt the site was clean and organized at the time of their visit, they voiced concern over the lack of screening for vehicles waiting to be serviced and the presence of more than one in-op. The committee wanted to ensure that the county treat all automotive repair facilities consistently with regard to screening and use. Of specific concern was the fact that the requirement to screen vehicles and/or erect fencing has been a condition of approval on this property since the early 90s, yet was never installed. The committee wanted to ensure that conditions are placed in the decision to control the cleanliness and appearance of the facility in the future. For the record, the committee has previously been furnished with a copy of this site plan and all other pertinent data for this request and will be considered tonight. With the last application, I explained a little about the difference between permitted uses and the conditional uses, so I'm not going to do that again, other than to say that it is up to Mr. Vitrone to show the committee that it is in keeping with the zone and area it is proposed for, that the conditions placed on this application will ensure it will be a good neighbor to the surrounding landowners. In addition to the parking of U-Haul vehicles, the applicant is proposing some additional improvements to the site, such as extending the gravel parking lot to accommodate parking of the rental equipment, as well as extension of the lot to accommodate customer parking. Staff has reviewed this request and believes U-Haul dealerships are excellent auxiliary businesses which address the needs of an ever-changing and mobile population. While the applicant has cleaned the site up considerably since earlier visits, conditions regulating future appearance of the property will be included in our recommendations. While the committee will be making a formal decision on this request later in the evening, staff is recommending approval of the conditional use request to expand an existing auto repair business to include rental of U-Haul vehicles and trailers in the AG zone in the town of Aurora. And I would like to say that I rented a U-Haul about 4 months ago from Mr. Vitrone, and I had a really hard time finding a smaller one, and probably within a 50-mile radius, that was the only spot I could find one that was a really easy location between here and the valley, and I had a really good experience. It was very well run, and I was really happy to find one in the area, so.
Okay. Thank you, Amy. Anything else the applicant would like to add at this time? All right. We'll move on to the third item on the agenda, zone change for J&J Hess LLC, Amer, Wisconsin, have made an application for a zone change in accordance with sections 58-481 and 58-661 of the Waushara County zoning code from AR agriculture residential to CG general commercial to construct an event pavilion for Jorgie's Bar and Grill. Location, an approximate 1.83 acre portion of land combined from two parcels known as a portion of Lot 1, certified survey map number 6723, and a portion of Lot 2, certified survey map number 6010, being part of the northwest quarter of the southeast quarter and the northeast quarter of the southwest quarter of Section 25, Town 19 North, Range 13 East, Town of Poisippi, County Road XX. Is the applicant here? Would you come forward, please, and state what your intentions are?
Tensions are with COVID and everything, which we've had a lot of outdoor seating, obviously, starting since last year. And we put up a tent for that in the past. And now with the expense of a tent, we thought, well, it's better off just to put up a pavilion and be done with it. And when we went through the process of starting to look at that, we've come to found out that our volleyball courts are actually in a residential ag zone, and we can't build on that property along with our commercial property, which is on the other part. So we want to zone it all into one big commercial property and be done with it so we can put the pavilion up.
All right.
John Hess. Yeah.
A few questions. Do you know where the lot lines are?
I do.
Has there been a recent survey?
Within the last month, yeah.
Have you talked to the Town of Poisippi Town Board?
Yes, yeah.
And their
Actually, they have all their stuff. Actually, they kind of bumped their stuff up. They had called an emergency meeting and got that all set already. So
Okay.
if we get the okay, we're all good already.
Have you talked to the adjoining landowners and neighbors?
Yep.
No comments, complaints?
No, everybody's very much in favor because they'd rather have the pavilion versus the tent.
Yeah, it gets
Mhm.
pricey.
Yeah. And it looks better.
Well, that was very appropriately. It was nice. We were out there the other day. It's very nice, but excuse me. I can see a pavilion would be a lot better and more permanent.
Yeah.
Don't have to pay all the rental charges.
Right.
Any questions of the committee? Hearing none, you can take a seat, sir.
Okay.
Correspondence.
We have one letter dated June 7th, 2021, and it's from Sue Albright, the clerk for the town of Poisippi. It states, "Dear Mr. Waller, on June 7th, the town of Poisippi Town Board acted to approve the zone change for J&J Hess LLC from AR Ag Residential to CG General Commercial to construct an event pavilion for Jorgie's Bar and Grill. This is located in Section 25 of the town of Poisippi on approximate 1.83 acre portion of land combined from two parcels known as a portion of Lot 1 CSM 6723 and a portion of Lot 2 CSM 6010, being part of the northwest one quarter of the southeast one quarter and the northeast one quarter of the southwest one quarter." And that's also signed then by Larry Albright, and he has circled approved yes, Gary Rodenzel supervisor approved yes, and Cheryl Nitsky supervisor approved yes. Any further questions, feel free to contact me. And again, have a good day. That's signed Sue Albright, clerk, town of Poisippi. And that is all the correspondence.
Anyone in favor to speak?
No one in favor or opposition or for information.
All right, staff comments.
The applicant, Jody Hess, is requesting a zone change from AR Ag Residential to CG General Commercial to construct an event pavilion for Jorgie's Bar and Grill in the town of Poisippi. The two parcels in question adjacent to Jorgie's Bar and Grill, which are currently zoned AR, have always been owned by the bar and used in conjunction with the bar, yet were never zoned appropriately to CG. One of the lots in question maintains the sanitary system for the bar, the other sand volleyball courts. The applicant now seeks to construct a new pavilion for outdoor activities. However, the concrete pad to be built upon is situated either upon and or slightly across the property line and or zoning classification. The applicant wishes to zone all properties used in conjunction with the bar to CG. In an attempt to clean up the zoning map, staff is recommending that the property situated directly across the street, also owned by the applicant, which maintains a self-storage building and large parking lot, be rezoned to CG, as there is a small remnant piece zoned to AR. It is unclear as to why the zoning maps were drawn this way, but it should be noted that the width of the remaining AR parcel is non-conforming due to its deficient width at the street. As the applicant has no plans for development of this lot, we felt it more appropriate to zone the entire parcel to CG. The committee visited the property on Wednesday, June 16th, and was very supportive of the request to rezone the various parcels. The committee believed the zone change would not only clean up the zoning maps, but it would bring the properties more in line with existing uses. A zone change is a permanent change to the property, and that by changing the zone, you are changing not only the minimum lot size, but also what may be permitted on the property. Because of this permanent change, the review standards are quite high, and applications for zone change are reviewed by 3 bodies. The first step is tonight's public hearing, where the Planning and Zoning Committee will make a recommendation on the application. That recommendation will then go to the full County Board of Supervisors, and then the Town Board will review the application. In order to change the zoning on the property, the application must be approved at all 3 levels. The zone changes would clean the map up and bring the properties into full compliance with their actual uses. Staff has reviewed this request and believes the zone changes would clean the maps up and bring all the properties owned by the applicant into compliance with their actual uses. According to the applicant, these properties are being assessed as commercial, yet zoned otherwise. While the committee will be making a formal recommendation on this request later in the evening, staff is recommending approval of the zone change from AR to CG General Commercial to construct an event pavilion for Jorgie's Bar and Grill in the town of Poisippi.
Thank you, Amy. Do you have anything else to add at this time, sir? All right, that concludes our public hearing portion of tonight's meeting. I will now call the meeting of the committee together. Roll call will show that all are present and accounted for. Motion is in order to approve the agenda as printed.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jerry, or motion by Jerry, second by Mike. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. You should have received a copy of yesterday's minutes, I believe is what we're approving. Is that correct?
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
There's one correction that needs to be made on it.
All right,
On the second page, it says make cap. It should be Mike cap.
oh. Okay,
And I'll second with that.
all right, we heard the motion and second with corrections. Are there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Unfinished business, none.
No.
New business, action on public hearing applications. On the first one, Daniel Jude. What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, second by Pat. Would one of you gentlemen read the
Reasons?
reasons?
Possible reasons. The requested application, if approved, will be consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning code and will not be contrary to the public interest because after reviewing the application considering all related testimony, the application, if approved with conditions, will not harm the public or neighboring land uses. Visibility is good at the driveway location and traffic is slowed here. There are no public safety issues. The proposal matches the lot and available area.
Okay, conditions?
Possible conditions if approved. Therefore, the requested application, if approved, the following conditions shall apply. The development must be in substantial compliance with the site plan and testimony provided at the public hearing. All other required setbacks and other codes must be complied with. All permits must be obtained, including land use, building, sanitary if needed. Adequate parking must be provided. The driveway shall meet required codes, including fire, access code requirements to provide for access by emergency vehicles. In addition, the driveway shall provide good visibility and a turnaround area to prevent backing onto the road. The applicant will allow agents from Waushara County access to the property to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. The trailer must be kept licensed and roadworthy at all times. No additions, attachments, or permanent foundations are allowed. The trailer must be located at least 100 feet from all lot lines. The trailer shall be located so that it is not visible from the neighboring properties or public road. The trailer must be served by adequate sanitary facilities separate from those provided in the trailer. The discharge of gray water onto the ground surface is strictly prohibited. The zoning office shall annually inspect the trailer to ensure compliance with these conditions.
Okay, you've heard the reasons and conditions. Motion to approve or deny the application?
Did that?
We did that?
Jeremy, the motion, who seconded?
I second it.
Yes.
Okay.
And there was a motion to approve.
Motion
Yep.
to approve.
I will
Yep.
now take a roll call vote. Jerry,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
myself, yes. Motion is approved.
Oops, sorry.
Paperwork in order here. Next application is Steve Vitrone. Would you read the reasons for that?
First we need-
Well, first I need a motion. I get ahead of myself. Motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by John. Okay, would you read the reasons, someone? John,
The,
you can, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Pat?
Requested application, if approved, will be consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning code and will not be contrary to the public interest because after reviewing the application and considering all related testimony, the application, if approved, with conditions, will not harm the public or neighboring land use. Visibility is good at the driveway locations and there are no public safety issues. The proposal matches the lot and the available area.
All right, conditions, Pat?
Therefore, the requested application, if approved, the following conditions shall apply. The development must be in substantial compliance with the site plan and testimony provided at the public hearing. All other required setbacks and all other codes must be complied with. All permits must be obtained, including land use, building, and sanitary if needed. Adequate parking must be provided. Within 60 days of approval, all inoperable vehicles, parts, etc. must be either stored inside an enclosed building or removed from the property. Within 60 days of approval, all vehicles waiting to be serviced shall be stored behind a solid fence so that such storage is not visible from the public roads or neighboring properties. A U-Haul vehicle awaiting to be rented shall be set back a minimum of 110 feet from the center line of State Road 49 or 50 feet from the right-of-way, whichever distance is greater. All rental equipment shall be parked or arranged in a neat and orderly fashion at all times. Based upon recent conversation with the property owner, it appears there are plans to install a new septic system for the residents to the immediate north upon this parcel, resulting in the need for an off-site easement. It also appears that existing automotive building is straddling existing property lines. Within 60 days of approval, the owner applicant shall either submit and or be under contract to prepare a new CSM for these two parcels. Said CSM shall either combine the parcels or rearrange the lots so that the shop meets all side lot setbacks, and so that any future sanitary systems are located upon the lot in which the structure is serves. The driveway shall meet all required codes, including fire and access code requirements to provide for access by emergency vehicles. In addition, the driveway shall provide good visibility and a turnaround area to prevent backing onto the road. The applicant will allow agents of Waushara County access to the property to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. The applicant is responsible for complying with any other applicable regulations. All advertising signs must be in accordance with the county and state requirements.
Okay, thank you, Pat. I'll ask for a roll call vote. Yes or no to approve this request? Pat?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. John?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion is approved. Next application is for J&J Hess LLC. And I will read the reasons.
Oh,
If somebody else wants.
I'll make a
Motion
motion.
to approve
I'll
first.
make a motion to approve.
I always do that. Jerry, you can run the next meeting. Who's gonna second that?
I'll second that.
Second by Pat. All in favor?
Wait.
Well, now we gotta read.
Now you got it.
See, now you got me all confused. Don't take much, but, all right, I'll read the reasons.
Right.
After reviewing the application and considering all related testimony, there was none. If approved with conditions, it will not harm the public or neighboring land uses. The testimony, there was none in opposition. Visibility is good at the driveway location and traffic is slowed here. There are no public safety issues. It is up to the town's planning commission and the town board to determine whether this proposal is in compliance with the town's approved land use plan. Conditions. The development must be in compliance with the site plan and testimony provided at the public hearing. All required setbacks must be complied with and all other codes must be adhered to. All permits must be obtained for any future improvements, including land use, building, and sanitary. Adequate parking must be provided. The applicant will allow agents of Waushara County access to the property to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. The application is now forwarded to the Waushara County Board of Supervisors and the Town Board of Poisippi for their consideration. The Town Board is responsible for determining whether this application, if approved, is in compliance with the town's approved land use plan. Now I will ask for a roll call vote. Yes or no to approve it? Mike? Yes. Jerry?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion is, our application is approved. Moving on to the next item on the agenda. You folks can stay and let us finish this, or you're excused if you so wish. It's up to you. You can stay. It won't take us much longer, but you're excused if you want to do so.
Thanks.
You're
Yep.
welcome.
Thank you,
You
folks.
like that bench, don't you?
I'm starting to think you have no life, actually.
All right. Review and possible action on requests for extensions of land use permits.
We have one extension in the town of Waushara for Anthony Monty, Montey. And it is on, let's see, it's on State Highway 73. He must not have had a fire number yet. It is for a 42 by 64 pole building. And he has not started yet, construction to date. The building, yeah, he has not started yet, and due to COVID and the 300% rise in lumber prices, he has not started construction yet, so nothing's done at the site. So he's asking for an extension. We don't have any issues with the
What's his name?
Montey,
How long-
Anthony Monty.
How long of extension does he?
He's asking for 1 year.
Hoping prices will go down, I guess.
Yeah,
I would make a motion to the fact that it'd be extended for 1 year.
yeah.
Is there
I'll
a
second-
second to that?
I'll
Second
second
by
that.
Jerry. All in favor?
All right.
Okay.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
Sign there. And there are no minor changes.
All right. Review of next month's public hearing applications for time and route planning purposes.
For next month, you have, as Todd had already told you, I think it hasn't changed since Wednesday. You have the Alliant, and then you have the one in Aurora, the Craft and the Sales, and then you have the Gun Club and Wild Rose, which are those the three I think that Todd told you about Wednesday. Did you, is that what he
Did
told
he
you on
mention-
Wednesday, that you had 3?
Or did
I
I
don't
miss-
think he
I
mentioned
don't
that.
think he meant, I didn't hear it if he
Oh, he
did.
didn't mention any?
No,
Okay, well, then you have those 3.
No, because the solar farm came in after, no, the.
okay.
Oh, well, he's probably, has he been talking about the solar farm
Yeah, he's
out
talked a
on
little
Dakota,
bit
which is
about
gonna
it,
be a
yeah.
big, so he has the,
That's gonna be a long.
yeah, it's probably gonna be a long one. They've been holding like they had a big public meeting, I think,
So I
2
suppose
weeks
we
ago
gotta go second
downstairs.
again.
Yeah, because all they have is all they have is the appeal, which
know.
could potentially take a little bit of time too. They,
In other words,
yeah.
pack lunch or